So 2 years ago, God told me to walk away from my business that I ran and operated for almost 16 years. I still own it, but I don't operate it. He told me to walk away from a business that he gave me back in 2007 that paid all my bills, allowed me to take care of my 4 beautiful children. Well, at the time it was just 3. And I just didn't understand. So honestly, I was disobedient initially. And then about October of 2021, something just made me listen a little longer, a little deeper. So I did. Then I said, well, God, how do you want me to do this? Because this is what's paying for everything. He never really gave me an answer. Let me put that out there. My job was to be obedient. I decide, okay, Lord, I'm going to listen. I'm going to be obedient. And after I was done with all of my weddings and cake orders and all the things, I shut it down. I also found out that I was pregnant. Surprise pregnancy, because my youngest at the time was 12. She is now 14. My oldest is 19 this weekend. So you can kind of get the gist that I wasn't planning on having no more babies. However, God said yes. And so now my little nugget of joy, who will be 2 in July, who brings so much just goodness to the house, is here. But while I was pregnant with him, I couldn't do anything. I was so sick. My body was so weak that for the first 5 to 6 months of my pregnancy, I was literally bedridden. So even if I wanted to bake a cake, even if I wanted to do an order, when I say I could not, and I'm a strong-willed person, God was like, sit your tail down. So I did. 2 years later, now, it all makes sense. God took me from feeding people's bodies, feeding their minds, their souls, with everything he put in my hands. You got to understand some of my history, y'all. I started out as a nail tech in high school. Then I went into being a hairdresser. At the end of high school, took that into a few more years of my life. And then one day, when my oldest was almost 2, I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? And he gave me a dream. The dream was me having a recipe. And when I woke up that morning, the baker, the only baker in my family, my mother, was staying at my house. And we woke up and made the brownies. It turned out to be a brownie. I didn't know, because from that day forward, I had never baked a brownie in my life. Never baked a thing in my life. But I was obedient. I ran with it, and that company took us for 17 years. Now, God is putting me in a position to feed people's skin. He really did say, he said, Melanie, the oil is in your house. The stuff I put in my hair, the stuff I put on my body. People say, oh, it must be hereditary. No, not necessarily. I've explained this in other videos, but one side of my family dealt with extreme cystic acne, and the other side dealt with psoriasis and eczema. Both my sons, for whatever the reason, got eczema. And I was able to use the recipes, the skin recipes that God gave me to heal my children's skin. My oldest son, who will be 16 this year, he had such extreme eczema. He would wake up in like fits of pain because he didn't want to open his arms because the insides of his arms would bleed and crack. He didn't want to bend or straighten out his legs because the insides of his arms would bleed and crack. He didn't want to bend or straighten out his legs because the back of his knees would crack and bleed. And so I'm saying to you guys, I think it's important that you know that this skincare line is not just something that I wanted to start just because. It's something that God started to give me. And the same way he gave me the recipes for my baking company that was helping people lose weight even though they were eating desserts, I believe he's doing the same now with this skincare. He called it skin food, and I cannot wait to get jars of it in your hands and your body is nourished by it. So yeah, I figured I'd share. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.